welcome back to our channel. We are excited today because we're just gonna fill you guys in on where we are in our journey, as well as share with you guys today the number of embryos that we're transferring and kind of talking about what do we want to do with our extra embryos. If you're new to our journey, Adam and I retrieved 41 eggs. 39 of them were mature, 30 fertilized, and we have a total of 18 eggs, 18 embryos actually sitting frozen at our fertility clinic. Now, we're not having 18 babies. We're not and we're not even going to transfer all 18 of those eggs, and so we have to kind of figure out what we want to do with them. And that is like a really big decision. But we figured that we cook some food, we talk, we just have like a really good time.
So what we have on the table here today is some crab legs and these, my goodness, ginormous shrimp. Look how big this is. Like, this is by far the biggest shrimp I am about to taste. Like, I've never had a shrimp this big. Have you?
Never.
My goodness. Woo.
Never.
So good.
Yeah, we also have like a bootleg home boom bang sauce that we made. But yeah, we're about to just dive into it. Ready?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Ready? Okay, I'm gonna grab the sauce because I want this closer to us. Alright. Okay, I think I'm gonna start with a shrimp. Okay, so we've been taking our estradiol. We're currently on day 14 of taking it. Looking at our protocol, we have about 22 days where we have to take the estradiol before we go in for our ultrasound. Now that ultrasound is going to let us know how my body is responding to it. It's going to check the lining of my uterus to see if I spontaneously ovulated, and then based on how that looks, I'll be able to then start the endometrium as well as the progesterone. But yeah, so we're not really filming us taking the medicine because it's literally just popping a pill 3 times a day. It's not anything special. It's not anything magical. So we figured we'd sit down and give you guys this video. What else we want to talk about is the number of embryos that we're transferring. So when it came to like us and the number of embryos that we can transfer, we had 2 options. We can either transfer 1 embryo or we can transfer 2 embryos. Most of the time, actually majority of the time, doctors only want you to transfer 1 embryo, because if you transfer 2, you're at risk for a high, like if multiples are considered a high risk pregnancy. So they only want you to transfer 1 embryo. Now for us, transferring 1 embryo is fine, but something that we had to consider was the fact that we didn't do any genetic testing. So we'd be going in not knowing the genetics of any of our embryos, not knowing if that 1 embryo that we put in was gonna be normal, if it was gonna be successful. We went to our doctor and we kind of told him, like, and also Adam and I, we decided not to do PGS testing at his recommendation. Because of our age, we're at a lesser chance of having genetically abnormal embryos. However, that chance isn't like none of them are genetically abnormal. It's still a possibility. And so it was at his recommendation that we didn't like do the testing. And so in us making the decision not to do the testing, we also decided that if we don't do the testing, we're going to transfer 2 embryos. So we told him that. We went to him and we said, listen, you said not to do the testing, but the only way that we're going to feel comfortable with this is if we can transfer 2 embryos. Now, surprisingly, he said, okay. I wasn't expecting that. He was just super cool with it. He was like, yeah, it sounds good to me. You're young. Like, I have no doubt that you can carry a twin pregnancy or multiples. And so, by all means, you transfer 2 embryos. Which is really shocking because if you look online and you like look at the research, they say a lot of doctors only recommend 1. And when we first met with him, he had recommended only transferring the 1 embryo. So I was really surprised at how easily he caved. Regardless, the goal of transferring 2 was to be able to at least have 1 healthy baby. But then we have to think about like what about the rest of our embryos? Because we still have 18 minus 2. Excuse my math. We'll still have 16 embryos left. So we have to figure out what are we gonna do with the rest of the embryo. I mean, they're frozen. They're gonna keep them frozen, the ones that we don't transfer, and we have until the age of 50 to go back as many times as we want to transfer. Once you hit the age of 50, they're not transferring no embryos into your destined uterus. They're just not doing it. They're not doing that. But it's like we have to think about, because one, we're not transferring all 18. That's ridiculous. Unless we do transfers, and a lot of them are abnormal to the point that we have to transfer all 18. We're not doing that. That's not an option. Okay, so how many kids do you want?
Honestly, around 5 to 7.
7's my favorite number.
Okay, let's transfer 7 then.
Okay. Well, not transfer 7. Let's try to have 7 kids.
Try to have 7, yeah.
I like big families.
Well, look at your family.
Yeah, there's 7 of us. Yeah. Yeah. There's about 7 of us. So, like, it's definitely doable. My parents did it. But, I mean, I guess it all depends on how many transfers is it going to take to have 7 kids. But then, what are we going to do with those leftover embryos?
So, remember the doctor's options. Remember what we signed. We can either give them away to somebody, donate them to science, throw them away, which we're not going to do.
No.
And what was that last one?
Or there was a blind donation.
Blind donation.
There's two donation options. So we had to sign this like contract stating what we would do with our embryos if we like reach that 50 age, or if we just wanted to like just do something with them. And so yeah, it was donate them to a complete stranger, or donate them to somebody that we know. Like we find the person and we're able to donate it to that person that we find. Then there was throwing them in the garbage.
We're not doing that.
It's not an option. And then there was, what was the last one?
I don't even know why that's even an option. Like,
donating to science, which also we're not doing that. We're not donating to science.
Like,
so really, that only leaves us with. Was there another option? No, that's it. So that really only leaves us with donating them.
I don't really understand why that's an option. Like, why would someone want to throw away embryos?
Because if they don't want to have if they know they're not going to transfer the rest of them, but they also, because I mean, think about it. If you donated somebody else, like a child with our genetic makeup is going to be walking around the world, like they're us. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, maybe they're just like, I don't want to give it to science for you to be like doing all these weird tests on my babies, to them to eventually be thrown in the garbage, right? Because the science is not going to lead to like a birth. So eventually they're going to test on it, play with it, and throw it away. So both of those other 2 options are trash.
My thing is this: I would like all of our embryos to have a chance at life.
100%. All of our embryos, like. I think that's what we would end up doing, is donating them. I don't know if I could do a complete stranger, because it's like, I don't know you. I don't know, like, if you're going to make sure my child has, like, a good, I mean, it'll be your child, but, like, I just need to know that they're going to, like, a good home, to a family who, like, really, really wants kids, who's going to love them, and, like, you know? Versus just going to some rando.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're going through this treatment, it's because you really, really want kids. Don't mean you're normal, though.
I wish there was a way where we can interview the person.
Well, we can. I mean, not really interview, but we can choose the person. Like, if we know somebody, like, if we wanted to, like, find some way to, like, ourselves be able to donate our embryos. Because is it really, I don't know. But if we want to find some way ourselves to be able to donate our embryo to someone, we could do that. We could.
Okay, that's a good option.
Because there's an option on there to be able to choose. So if we found someone who like really wanted a child and really needed embryos, we could 100%.
Okay, I like that.
Like, yeah. Not saying we want to be in the child's life. Not saying we have any expectation of like anything, but just knowing who our child is going to would be something that I really, really like. Comment down below. What would you do if you were in this situation? Would you donate to science? Throw the extra embryos in the garbage? Donate to a stranger? Or find someone to donate to? What would you do? It's like not an easy decision.
And when you guys do, if you guys do comment, please, it will hurt me. It will hurt us if you put down, throw them in the trash. Because again,
well, if we're gonna ask them to comment, then we're gonna ask them to comment what they would do. We can't sit here and say, tell us what you would do. But like, they're telling us what they would do, not what we should do.
It will just hurt.
Because at the end of the day, we already know that's something that we couldn't do. But yeah, I don't know. For now, we're just focused on our 2 embryos that we're going to transfer. And so our clinic rates the embryos as good, fair, and poor. I know a lot of places do. I was expecting it to be like the 6AA, the 4AB, like those numbers that you hear a lot of people talking about. But it's real basic. It's just good, fair, poor. And so, of our embryos, we have 14 that were rated good.
And that's the highest, right?
Yeah, good is the highest. And then we had 4 that were rated as fair. They said the fair ones are still capable of leading to a live birth, but they start off with doing our best looking embryos. So,
but 14 is a good number. That's a great number.
14 is a great number. Yeah, 14 is really, really good. But yeah, that's really it. Our plan is to transfer 2 of our beautiful embryos back inside of us, and then figuring out kind of how to be able to donate our embryos, to our extra embryos that we don't use, to someone deserve, like, I don't really know how to put it, but just like figuring out how to donate to someone, and like figuring just figuring it out, just figuring that out. But we have time, and that's not something that we're really worried about right now. Right now, we're just worried about getting and staying pregnant.
That is it. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye. Baby, I'm full. Who's eating that last shrimp? GD.
I'm not.
GD.
Speaking of
GD.
Speaking of GD, this is GD.
Garbage disposal. I'm calling it. You gotta eat it.